the reason why crypto market is more so thrift shopping is because you can just keep going back and there's just gonna be like new stuff all the time. That's probably garbage.
Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Don't Go Broke Trying. I'm your host Reni, and as you heard in the intro, today we're going to be talking about crypto and investing and all that good stuff that I know you all love. I have a very special guest on the podcast today, and her name is Taneesha. Hi Taneesha.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Right now, just so you guys know, I just want you to know, it's about 1 a.m. right now, so if we sound a little loopy, that is why. But Taneesha flew in from Winnipeg, and I was like, I need this opportunity to interview her because I've been following her on Instagram, on TikTok for a while, and I was like, I need this opportunity. I'm not going to pass it up. So
let's get it.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. How are you feeling?
Well, the espresso's kicking in. So right now I feel good. And likewise, like, I'm pretty sure you were probably one of the first kind of like financial girls I started following and like we connected. So kind of sitting with you here today is just coming full circle in a way. So I'm excited. It's also my first kind of content creator to content creator collab, which is like needs to go down in the book.
I'm honored. Thank you. I'm honored.
Outside of work, but yeah.
Yeah. So, and we're going to talk about her work too. She does very cool things.
Yes.
But Taneesha graduated with $40,000 in student debt.
I did.
And then you built a 6-figure portfolio.
Yep.
Investing portfolio.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
And now you create free educational content online, on TikTok, on YouTube.
Yes.
Anything else that I missed in this intro?
Starting Twitter.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Twitter is a good place to grow your platform.
Twitter is good for crypto. And NFTs.
The crypto bros are there.
They're there. Yeah. The crypto girls are there.
Really? I don't see any of them.
Oh, they're there. Oh. NFT girls, they're there. Oh, yeah.
I don't know anything about NFTs, but
it's okay. We'll get into it. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's get into it. We want to give a disclaimer. This is not financial advice. We are simply sharing our experiences and giving our opinions on all the questions that I'm going to ask today. Okay, so I always like to start off by you introducing yourself and telling us about your childhood. So how did you grow up? What was your first memory of money and things like that?
Sure. So I grew up in a lovely city called Winnipeg, Manitoba, dead smack.
Lovely.
The lovely Winterpeg, dead smack in the center of Canada. Everything was all good and fine, and actually I spent my entire life playing basketball. So I grew up with a single mother. Basketball was something like we bonded about. I think that's really where I got my work ethic from. It really started with basketball and academics. And actually ended up going to the States on a basketball scholarship and for high school as well as...
Even high school?
Yeah, wow. Even high school. Went to a boarding school in Virginia. I think our team was top 30 in the U.S. for obviously high school girls.
Nice.
And then I got a Division I scholarship to play as well.
Wow.
So really, money at that point wasn't so much a factor because, like, I had my mom, we're super close, got scholarships. And it was really when I came back because I had to stop playing basketball due to injuries. I came back to Canada and had to start paying for university. I was like,
what is this?
What is this? Pay for what? Like, and my mom, like, obviously I was past the age of 18 at that point. My mom was just like, what, girl, like, you got this. Yeah. You got this. I'm going to support you, but not financially. Like, you got this, because at the end of the day, she raised me, right? She doesn't need to support me past that age. And that's kind of how all myself and my brothers grew up as well. So I was like, okay, so, you find your scholarships, you find your grants, whatever the case may be. I think, I didn't really know how to manage money at that point as well. So some grants I got, I'd go on trips. Yeah. And I
with your grant money?
I was like, grant money, we out here, like... So grant money was used for everything except education at some points. Yeah, I know you guys don't act like you're not in the same boat, because I know you are. Anyway. So there was a little bit of that, but then of course there was paying for school. I was a pre-med student. It was a lot of books. It was a lot of studying. I took the MCAT. Things were kind of expensive when you're in that field.
Yeah.
Regardless, graduated with about $40,000 in student debt. And started working in oil and gas.
Doing what? If you were going to med school, what were you doing in oil and gas?
Yeah, so graduated pre-medicine, took the MCAT, and decided to take a gap year. Because if there's one thing you know about pre-med and medicine, it is stressful. Decided to take a gap year. My brother, my oldest brother's an engineer, so he said, come to Sarnia, an hour away from London.
Yeah,
Fun. Well, Chemical Valley, it's not that fun. But he's like, come to Sarnia, make some money, right? We make bank out here because it's Chemical Valley. All the chemical plants are out there. Oil plant, like the whole 9 yards. So I went for probably 6 months and started working at a nitrogen processing plant on contract, and I was a cost controller. Oh. And I've always been very good at math and like statistics and stuff. I was a cost controller, and I think my wage was like probably just $21, which is super exciting then. And even I think now when you first graduate, I think that's a great wage to start out at. Got a lot of overtime, and then I just decided like, okay, let me use this. Wasn't paying much rent or any at all, actually. Let me use this, start trying to pay off my debt. And through working in the nitrogen processing plant for that maybe 6 month period, I started learning about like fly in, fly out jobs.
Okay, what's that?
So it's another kind of oil and gas or like kind of energy industry term where you fly into work or your work site. You stay there for maybe 14, 21 days. If it's offshore, maybe you're staying out there for 30 days. And then you have about 14 days off.
Okay.
So usually the appeal with fly in, fly out, or FIFO, is one, because you're staying there, you don't have any bills. So they cover your accommodations, they cover your food, and you're hourly. So it's pure overtime. So I actually doubled my wage going there right after my base kind of wage, and had the same amount of overtime as I did regular time every single paycheck. Wow. So that was yeah. It was a pretty big change for me pretty right away, because I went from basically making no money with debt to making 6 figures.
Yeah, quickly.
And I had no idea what I was meant to be doing with this funds.
Of course, no one teaches us.
Nobody teaches us. So you know what I did? I went on some trips, girl. I was like, look, I can afford whatever I want.
Let's travel.
Let's get it. And then I realized none of my friends could afford to travel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, so my mom was like, look, you're spending too much. You don't have any money. You're making this much, like you need to get this together. So she sent me kind of in a way to a wealth management firm.
Okay.
And yeah.
I was gonna say, would you say your mom's financially literate?
Yes and no. She's not so strict on it for herself or us. Again, like she did raise 3 kids on her own. But I would say like base kind of level, yes.
Okay. But she knew enough to tell you like you're doing things wrong, go to an expert.
100%.
Okay.
But to sit me down and say, look, these are XYZ investing strategies, and it wasn't all that. Yeah. So it was, you need to go pay somebody. Just do it. Just go pay somebody for a little bit. You need help. And then once you learn it on your own, maybe start self-directed, but you need to go, and you need to go ASAP. So I definitely thank her for that. Yeah.
What a good thing for her to do. And how did that go when you got to the wealth management firm?
Yeah. So a lot of people, and what I think you guys will see online too, and maybe you can relate to this, but a lot of what you see is self-directed.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty much all of it. Yeah.
Everything. Like everyone's like, I did this with my portfolio, but the realism is a lot of those people are getting scammed. Yeah. They're losing money.
Yeah.
They're selling too quickly. They have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
With a wealth management firm, you're paying kind of a percentage of your monthly balance to this firm to, of course, manage your portfolio for you. But you can meet with them whenever. right? You set your goals. They teach you, you know, some of that portion of financial education that you're looking for, some common terminology that you can then go home and research. So the best part for me, though, was actually setting up auto contributions with them.
Yes.
Once my money was sent, I wasn't really getting it back. Not because they wouldn't give it back. I wasn't about to go to my advisor and be like,
hey, I need $1,000, $2,000.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. You have to fill out forms. You got to do the most. So, yeah, it was good. It got me on track. You're only as good as your systems. And that allowed me to develop systems, which is invaluable.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then when did you transition to self-directed?
Actually, probably mid last year, I started building a portfolio in addition to what I was contributing. So just for some reference, I was contributing about 50-60% of my income while I was in oil and gas. So I reduced some of my portion to this wealth management firm, reallocated to self-directed, which wasn't much though. And now that I am, of course, a lot more financially literate, 100% of new contributions are self-directed.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So did you just keep the money with the wealth?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why didn't you decide to take it out and then self-direct that as well?
At the moment, I don't really need to, I guess. And especially with where the market is now, I would probably break even removing it.
Okay, the fees and things like that, or what do you?
Not
you mean how the market's down?
How the market is, right?
Fair enough.
So yeah, of course I can move, and I thought about it a lot actually, but I don't know. I also have incoming.
Yeah.
Income.
Yeah.
So.
Might as well just leave it there. Let it grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it seems like investing was a key part of this strategy of building your wealth. So how did you learn how to invest by yourself?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me try and think if I can remember when I first was like, nah, I want to do it on my own. I don't even know. I think it was the fee that got me one day that I was paying. Like, I was like, I got money now. Yeah. Right? It's kind of getting up there. And I feel like I need to start trying to make my money work for me. So actually the first stock I bought was a company called, I'm just going to say it. Don't invest in it whatsoever, please, because this is not financial advice. Yeah. It was called Lightspeed.
Okay, I've heard it, yeah.
Right, you've heard of it? Okay, are you invested?
I'm not.
Okay, I'm currently still invested in it. That's a story time, whatever. But it was called Lightspeed, and I got it from, I think, some like guy off Twitter. Okay. Again, this is not, like, I was first starting, right? Yeah. So I teach otherwise now. Anyway, it did very well for me. But the moral of the story, I invested in something that I related to because at the time I was a retail manager in oil and gas. And Lightspeed is POS systems, point of sale systems. So I found a project that I related to. I could understand their business model, their revenue model. And so that was a good start. Getting it from Twitter, I'm not really sure, but yeah.
Yeah, that's how I started. And then I know you also are big into crypto. Yeah. So how did you start? Actually, tell us what crypto is.
Sure.
Because I feel like most people don't know what crypto is at all.
Sure. Okay, so we have our dollars, right? You got your loonie, your toonie, your $5 bill. It's physical. So it's a tangible asset. You can touch it, you can exchange it, you can do whatever. With cryptocurrency. So a lot of the kind of debate right now is you have cryptocurrency and then you have Bitcoin. And with cryptocurrency, you think of the same thing I just described, the dollars we exchange without thinking an eye. Cryptocurrency is the exact same thing, except it's just a digital asset based on cryptographic technology, which is just like solving, say, like a mathematical problem, whatever the case may be, but based on blockchain technology. Okay. So it's just a digital asset that we're exchanging value. Okay. With regards to Bitcoin, this is maybe regarded like a little bit more highly regarded. Okay. Because with Bitcoin, it's kind of like the OG of the industry. Started in 2009. It's truly decentralized. It's often stated as a hedge against inflation, and it's like digital gold because there's a limited supply
of Bitcoin. And other coins there are not a limited supply of?
There are, but it may be a lot higher. Okay. They can create new coins. It may be a little bit more centralized, so their team can just issue new coins.
Okay.
But with Bitcoin, it was set at however many million. I want to say like 21 million.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And that's it.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically digital gold.
And why do we need this? Like, why can't I just have a dollar? Like, why do I need this currency?
Right. So if we look at, we're in a nice situation in Canada, but if we look at maybe other countries, and I don't know the specifics really, so I won't really get into it, but maybe the amount of people that have access to bank accounts, that isn't as high in other countries versus Canada. Sure. So with cryptocurrency, you have centralized and decentralized exchanges that allow you to sign up through KYC or non-KYC processes, get access to this digital bank account in a way. You can either on a centralized exchange, that's their platform, but on a decentralized exchange, you're holding your keys in your wallet. You own that. You own that.
Okay. And I know there's no real regulation in crypto, right? Is that part of the...
Not necessarily. Okay. So it's building out now, I think. So with centralized exchanges, they are a lot more regulated than a lot of people think they are.
Okay.
With decentralized exchanges, with decentralized finance, DeFi, that's not regulated by any means.
Okay, so what happens if the company just decides, I want to disappear? Like, where are your coins?
Your coins are wherever they disappear to, fam. Like, especially in DeFi, that thing is like in the, who knows? But there's people like, I want to say his name is like Zach BXT or something on Twitter, like just like this anon, and an anon is like anonymous. He is like kind of known for tracking down and tracing all these scams, right?
Okay.
So the thing with crypto is it's all public information. It's all open source, so you can track basically movement of money versus with a traditional bank,
can't do that.
You can't do that, right? It's the bank's data. It's the bank's ledger. With crypto, it's blockchain, which is a digital ledger, which is open source. Anybody can kind of see that movement.
Okay.
So he's kind of regarded, I don't even know if it's a he, I don't know. But yeah, so depending on how they do it, how they hack you, how they move the money, you can trace it with some higher intelligence. But if they put it through like a Tumblr or something like this, it gets a lot harder.
Sounds like stress.
It's why a lot of people get scammed. And
yeah,
there's a lot of ways you can get just destroyed.
So what would you say are the benefits of investing in something like crypto over something like the stock market or bonds? Like why would I choose one over the other?
I think, so one, diversification of asset classes, right? So with stocks, with bonds, this is TradFi, so traditional finance. With a stock, for instance, you're buying shares of a public company. There's only a few public companies that actually specialize in digital assets. With crypto, you're, in my opinion, investing in kind of the future of where the internet is going. And it's a lot more than just investing in a public company, right? These coins and this value is used to transfer value across the blockchain, to fund some of the newer projects. Again, investing in cryptocurrency is not just investing.
Okay.
Right? It's access to currency in a way. Okay. Because it's digital currency that somebody who might not even have a bank account now has access to. Right? Kigali, right? Can you transfer to Kigali with RBC right now or with Simply?
No.
And if you can, it's probably like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
If you are in Kigali, I can transfer you tomorrow. Crypto, Bitcoin for like, don't quote me on this gas fee, but say like $5 and it'll get to you almost instantly and securely.
But how would that person that receives it in Kigali then use it? Like what's the use case for, like, I have this digital currency. What do
Yeah.
I do with it once I receive it?
Right. So you can transfer it right back to fiat, which is traditional
dollar
funds.
or whatever.
Yeah, dollars. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So you put your Canadian funds in there, right, in an exchange or in a wallet that'll then convert it to whatever crypto you want.
Mm-hmm.
You transfer it accordingly in the interweb,
Mm-hmm.
and you just do your thing. Put it back out once you're done with it, if you want.
Easy enough.
Easy enough.
Sounds easy. Okay.
It's a lot easier than a lot of people make it.
It's honestly, when I see it online, it sounds super complicated. Yeah. So I guess that's why a lot of people haven't adopted it, or why do you think the mass hasn't adopted it yet?
I think so. One, mass adoption is probably threefold. Is just people, institutions, and governments. So institutions and governments can't necessarily adopt majority of crypto because it's not regulated. Whereas people can, but like you said, there's a lot of noise on the internet. Mm-hmm. And it's very easy to get scammed. It's very easy to, maybe lose access to your now digital wallet if you go that route. And there's just a lot of currencies as well. Yeah. So for me, and this is how I started, I felt the same way. It was like super overwhelming. Mm-hmm. So I actually started in the stock market, right? We know the stock market, you and I, right? It's good. You go into whatever platform you're using, you look up the share thingy, you're good to go. It's regulated. Yeah. Like, fam, like I know this the exchange has insurance. I'm good. Exactly. So I started in the stock market, and then I moved into crypto.
Mm-hmm. And I know crypto is pretty like volatile as well. So would you say you'd only recommend crypto for people who have like a super high risk tolerance, or?
Not necessarily. Like if you look at tech stocks right now, if you look at everything else other than S&P 500, it's probably also down 60-70%.
Very true.
Yeah.
Good point, actually.
And just like in the stock market, where there's different risk levels, growth stocks, whatever it is, crypto has that too. Okay. So you have things that are a little bit more stable, like Bitcoin and Ethereum. You have altcoins, which are very volatile. Mm-hmm. You have like shit. Can I swear on here? Okay. You have shit coins, which are like good luck. Yeah. Right?
Like Dogecoin?
Is like, I think Dogecoin at this point is kind of a half a shit coin. Okay. Like it's like Elon's coin. Elon Musk's coin.
Yeah. Okay. And if we are in Canada, because I have a lot of people around the world, but we'll speak for Canada. If we wanted to invest in crypto, how would we go about it? Like, what are the steps that we would take in order to invest in crypto?
Right. So in Canada, what are the steps in order to invest in crypto? It depends if you want to do it centralized or decentralized. And I think that's an important note to make. Mm-hmm. It almost also depends kind of what platform you're on too, if you're learning from social media or whatever the case is. But centralized platforms are platforms like Binance, Coinbase, Crypto.com, Wealthsimple, BlockFi. These are ones you can use in Canada, all outside Ontario, one of which you cannot use in Ontario. Yeah. Which is Binance.
Weird. Yeah.
But it's because Ontario Securities Commission has their own situation. But anyway, so those platforms are centralized. It's a good starting point, I think, for people. Not to get too deep into it, but a lot of beginners start on centralized platforms because it's all kind of just laid out there for you. You don't necessarily have insurance on Coinbase relative to what you would have with Wealthsimple because it's regulated a lot.
So when you mean insurance, what does that look like?
So I'll read it off, just actually to be a lot more specific with Wealthsimple. Just to talk about Wealthsimple very quickly, it says, our brokerage Canadian share owner is a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. With this protection fund, I think you get up to Any securities, cash, or other properties in client accounts are missing. CIPF, which is who they're protected by, will provide compensation for the value of the missing property as at the date of the member's firm's insolvency, up to the limits prescribed by the coverage policy, which I believe is like $1 million or something.
Okay.
So with a lot of crypto exchanges that are centralized, they don't necessarily have that because these aren't recognized as securities.
Okay.
Cool.
So crypto's not recognized as a security?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Okay. So, but Wealthsimple does have this insurance?
Wealthsimple does.
Any other of the exchanges have insurance?
With crypto, I don't think so. So that's the difference between a custodial and non-custodial wallet in crypto. Okay. This is probably super confusing. I'm sorry. Like, I wish I had like a whiteboard for you guys. I apologize, but
she does make super easy to understand videos as well, which will break it down. So I'll link a lot of them in the show notes. Yes. But okay, so if we wanted to invest in crypto, we would basically open our account with one of those exchanges. And then transfer our money from your bank account to one of the exchanges, and then just purchase similar or research before you do that, and then purchase the coin that you want.
Exactly. Okay. So the crypto market is basically like the stock market. Honestly, I think in a Twitter thread I related the crypto market to thrift shopping. Okay. Like genuinely, whereas the stock market was like going to the mall. Okay. And the reason why crypto market is more so thrift shopping is because you can just keep going back and there's just gonna be like new stuff all the time. That's probably garbage. So 4 platforms that you can look at when you start researching crypto in general is 1, Binance Academy. It's a free resource, but it has over 365 articles in like 19 different languages. Oh, wow. It's very resourceful. There's, guides to blockchain technology. There's kind of everything. Coinbase has something very similar. Crypto.com has I think like it's like CDC University or something like this. But a lot of the major platforms have these types of education outlets for free that are accessible to anybody. So go find something like this. Furthermore, actually, a lot of them do learn to earn initiatives. Which is? You get paid to learn. So they'll set up a module for you if maybe they want to teach you about Ethereum. They set up an Ethereum module. You finish it. You complete a quiz, and they'll initiate some coins to you as a result. That's cool. Yeah. So you're rewarded for learning. So that's one avenue is check an exchange and see what type of education program they have. The second avenue is CoinMarketCap. Okay. So it's CoinMarketCap.com. They list, a lot actually, but just to make it simple, once you get to their interface, you'll see the top 100 cryptocurrencies, and that's by market cap. Anyway, you'll just see the top 100 cryptocurrencies. Go down that list, 1 through 10, in your first 2 weeks. Go down that list. Once you click each one, you'll be able to see what the project's all about. You'll just be able to see a lot of the information you need to know about projects. So continue to go down that list, jot your own notes, start comparing these cryptocurrencies. What does this one have to offer relative to this other one? A lot of the times it's the actual project is very different because these coins are created for projects just like shares are created for businesses. So figure that out. And not only will you learn more about the coin and its use case or the token and its use case, but you'll learn about the project as well. So exchanges, education platform, CoinMarketCap. Once you've kind of sorted out what you need to on CoinMarketCap, you can go to Medium, you can go to Messari. Okay. I'm learning a lot right now. Yes. Okay. Get your pens out because it's all free as well. Okay, good. But Messari is another cryptocurrency. It's not an education platform, but it's basically lists the currencies and the tokens as well as what the project is about, their roadmap. It has a lot of the information you need to know as well, who the leaders are. So Messari is a really good one. They have a blog, which is great. But cross-reference the information you get from CoinMarketCap with Messari. And one thing I like about that platform as well is they actually have lists. So if you want to look at, I'm just going to say Cosmo's network, for instance, it's an ecosystem, say. If you want to look at all the projects within this world, Messari has these lists set out for you. If you want to look at all cryptocurrency projects that specialize in data management, decentralized data management, they have a list for you. And that's what I really liked as well. So you can compare within asset class as well as by market cap.
And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
And when you are looking at these things, like you're saying, okay, these focus on data management, as you said.
Yeah.
How are you evaluating, like, okay, I think this will be a successful project? Or what are you looking for when you see these things?
So a lot of, I think, what you look for is one, I'll just list out some stuff, market cap, how strong their socials are. Is the project different from other projects within the same class?
Okay.
What real world problems are they solving? Can it be adapted by the masses, or is it just another project for the riches? Or is it just some guy in his basement having fun?
Oh, does that happen too?
Definitely.
Oh, no.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
So anyone can create a coin?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Just like anybody can create an NFT. Same
True.
thing. Yup.
That's why I stay away from NFT.
It's different. It's different. It's a different situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Because of the regulation and because it's open source.
Yeah.
So what was I saying? So yeah, leaders as well. Who's actually backing this project? Who's on the leadership team? Where are they coming from? What's their history? And I don't know if I said this already, but how strong is their social media presence and their community? And social media presence usually includes Twitter, Telegram, their Discord. They might have a lot of followers, but is it real engagement? Are people genuinely excited by this?
Yeah.
Are they genuinely solving a problem? There's a lot of other factors you need to consider, but those are just a few.
And what are some of the real life problems you've seen crypto solve, or some of them? Yeah.
Accessibility to currency is one, and a bank account, for instance. Blockchain has a lot of different use cases. This might not necessarily be a solved problem per se, but when you get your kind of ticket to an event, usually it's printed, you kind of keep that memory. Now with blockchain technology, we have, in NFTs, we have things called POAPs, which are proof of attendance protocols. And it's just a digital proof of attendance that you can keep with you on your phone wherever you go.
So just to cut you off, so would it be that so when we have that proof of attendance, so now ticket companies will now adopt this they'll start using the technology that's the real life use case of it, or okay,
even like with retail, for instance, with some of the direction, like I know Solana Pay, I believe maybe was one of the first to issue this, but I believe retailers can provide 2 NFTs in return for as a kind of a receipt for purchase. So the one NFT is, say for instance, you go buy a nice new pair of shoes. One NFT is going to be reflective of that shoe purchase that you can use in the metaverse and interact with in this digital world. And another digital receipt is going to be your actual receipt. But with that, they have you within this kind of system, say for instance, but they can now, with your kind of purchasing history, they can, work on consumer loyalty. When they have a new launch 6 months down the road, they can send you that message and be like, hey, you bought this earlier on, which they can do now. But it's just another digital way to track it, as well as allow you to interact with your physical goods in the metaverse thereafter.
Ooh, the metaverse. Yeah. We've heard a lot about the metaverse. Yeah. What is the metaverse?
It's just like a digital world.
Yeah, but
literally.
Why do we need this digital world? When I think of metaverse, I think of Sims, and Yeah, and I think my cousin showed me it like on, I don't know which one it was, but like he basically showed me the metaverse, and I was like, okay, what is the point? I don't really understand what the point of it is.
Look, I'm not the one to sell you on the metaverse.
Yeah.
Metaverse. Look, it is just, I feel it also like it's just a Sims game, but there's like a lot of concerts happening in the metaverse now. You can wear like those VR goggles and kind of get in there and engage with people. I think Paris Hilton says she's the queen of the metaverse.
Oh.
So she's done like a lot of stuff in there. She has Paris World. Yeah, I think Justin Bieber might have done a concert in the metaverse.
Okay, because I see like there's digital real estate that you can buy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but like I just feel I'm like, why?
It's like when it's like if it like the only thing I see is one, appreciation of that asset, however that might be in the metaverse.
Whoever, yeah.
But two, you can rent it out too.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
And then, what would the currency? One of the cryptos would be what pays you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it would be like whatever that metaverse, whatever say blockchain or project that metaverse is based on. Like Decentraland, for instance, their token I think it's a token, but their token is mana.
Okay.
So maybe the currency or the value exchange to get things done and kind of move around within the metaverse is likely mana.
Okay.
Same with Sandbox. It's sand.
Okay. Okay, I've heard of these. So I'm like, okay, I'm putting the pieces together.
Yes. Good.
And then if I wanted to say I'm too scared to invest in like crypto or anything like that, but I still think like it's the future. I think that I want to get into it, but I'm scared of that volatility. Are there any other ways to invest in the crypto industry without actually purchasing like a token or a crypto? Yeah.
In the stock market.
Okay.
In Canada, we have ETFs. We have Bitcoin ETFs.
And ETFs are exchange traded funds. So basically a group of companies that you can buy.
Right. Exactly. But this kind of group is just going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum, and whoever's managing that portfolio would have this kind of wallet or storage of Bitcoin and Ethereum. But anyway, so we have Bitcoin ETFs, spot ETFs. We also have public companies on the Toronto Stock Exchange that specialize in digital currencies, whether it's lending, mining. One of our greatest assets in Canada is resources. So of course, mining is one of those. I invest in crypto mining stocks. As well as lending.
What about a company like PayPal, or I know Mastercard was trying to do something with crypto? Like, are these companies that would still, they're technically, they would benefit if the crypto industry does well. So would that be an example of investing in the crypto industry?
I don't necessarily know, crypto is not their specialization.
Yeah.
So maybe they've introduced that you can exchange crypto, right? They've just integrated something, or maybe they use it could be as easy as, and this is not the actual case, but it could be as easy as using Solana Pay within the PayPal infrastructure.
Yeah.
And they're like, yes, we accept crypto.
Okay, so they're not actually, but I guess if more people adopt Solana Pay and more people start using it, won't their stock, they'll technically maybe do better as a company as a result. So
in terms of on the stock market or in crypto?
And on the stock market,
Okay.
I'm saying are there companies that if crypto does better, they will also do better, even though they're not a crypto company? Right.
Maybe it just depends. If it's a small portion of their business model, it's not really going to do much, right? If it is their business model, of course they're going to move in tandem with the crypto industry. But MicroStrategy, for instance, is Michael Saylor's billionaire.
Okay.
They have some crazy Bitcoin hodl situation happening. And I don't believe actually their business model has a lot to do with crypto. It definitely didn't start out that way. I don't know much about the company, sorry, but anyway, because he's so public with his beliefs in crypto and how much they hold, and that, for instance, would really fluctuate with what he says, what he does. Same with Elon Musk's stuff, right?
Yeah.
so Elon, something about accepting Doge for merch.
Yeah.
And then things shot up. Like,
yeah. I feel like that's why I'm scared. Things like Elon can say whatever he wants, and then the value just tanks or increases. Like, it's kind of scary to put your money in that based on Elon's brain,
100%.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I think once you get into it, the more you realize it's just like, there's just billionaires out there that like interact with each other publicly.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're interested in it, you follow it. To me, it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, your initial question was stock market.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of companies out there that are getting more into crypto.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't necessarily say that their crypto initiatives at the moment would have a whole lot of impact on their price action.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good to know. And then without any real regulation, would you say that crypto is a wise investment? I think I know your answer, but I think, again, it's scary for people to want to invest in it when there's no real regulation across most exchanges. Mm-hmm. So is it still a wise investment?
I wouldn't say crypto, because crypto is a lot of things, right? Like, I don't know how many coins and tokens there are out there, but let's say like 40,000. Are all 40,000 a wise investment? Absolutely not.
Hell no.
But do I think it's worth learning the fundamentals of blockchain technology, Web3, and crypto? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Do I think Bitcoin is worth investing in? For sure. Mm-hmm. Same with some other ones. But yeah, you need to, I feel like, especially with our age and actually any age, it's kind of nice if you have at least a little bit of portions to allocate towards it. Mm-hmm. Test it out, get comfortable with it, learn more about the industry, and then if your interests develop, your funds develop with that. So then you can start maybe reallocating a little bit more to crypto, because you believe in it, right? Like, for me, my time is 100% spent in crypto. Mm-hmm. My portfolio is maybe 20%
crypto.
In crypto, right? Okay. I'm still very heavy in stocks. I own property too. Mm-hmm. It's still all up in there, right? It's around. So just be smart. But I think it is really worth testing out new asset classes and learning something new and getting ahead of the future.
Mm-hmm. And I know stocks, we always say stocks are for the long term. You want to hold long term. Would you say the same for crypto?
100%. I think your investments should be long term. Otherwise, you're trading.
Yeah.
Right? So if you hold an investment, in my opinion, it should be for at least 4 years. Mm-hmm. But one thing to know about crypto is with stocks, because you can invest within registered accounts and obviously have tax benefits with that, that's one thing. With crypto, it's non-registered investments unless it's on the stock market. Yeah. So you are paying tax if you are recognizing these capital gains.
And for anyone who doesn't know what that means, that basically means if you're in Canada, we have accounts like the tax-free savings account, which is the TFSA, or the RRSP, which is the registered retirement savings plan. Mm-hmm. But you can't hold crypto in those accounts right now, correct?
No.
Yeah. So
unless it's an ETF. Or
yeah, exactly. So she's saying that you will be paying taxes if you do sell any of your stocks at a gain, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I've heard a lot about staking, and I've heard that, okay, you can hold the crypto, but then you can also make money while you're holding your crypto. So can you explain what staking is and like if we should be looking into it?
You know, dividend investing? It's the exact same thing.
Can you explain what dividend investing is for the people who may not know?
I sure can. And I'm not even going to explain it technically. I'm just going to say, when you put apples into a bucket, every quarter, maybe every half of the financial year, you get 2 apples back. Not necessarily, not that much, but you get it. You put your funds into a bucket, and as a reward for putting your funds in the bucket, either that company is paying you out as a token of appreciation, or the protocol is paying you out as a token of appreciation. When it comes, so that's dividend investing.
Simple, easy.
Simple. Yeah. So it's a good way to earn passive income, especially when it is within a registered account, because if you're investing in your TFSA, for instance, it's tax-free income. Yeah. With crypto, you can stake cryptos, that have derived from a blockchain that works on a proof of stake consensus mechanism.
What does this mean?
Right. So, that's just all you need to know. So with consensus mechanisms with blockchain, validators, transactions need to be validated.
Okay.
It's a peer-to-peer network. So there's these kind of like all these individuals, kind of just like me, that's like one person, there's you. We all kind of work to make the world go round. So we all work kind of together to process transactions on the blockchain, to validate transactions on the blockchain.
Okay.
When you insert your cryptos into this bucket, it's because the protocol is proof of, or the blockchain consensus mechanism is proof of stake.
Okay.
And you're getting rewarded
for
placing your funds in this bucket. So the validator gets kind of a reward, and depending how you do it, and this is not an easy explanation.
No, but I'm getting it. I actually understand it now.
I'm like getting stressed because I'm like, usually in my videos, it's like, it's so simple.
Yeah. It's also 1 a.m. guys. Almost 2 a.m. now.
Almost 2 a.m. Yeah. But in my, I can't actually say it so technically, which is, I think I struggle a lot when I'm just in conversation versus a video.
Yeah.
Moral of the story is, again, you put your funds into a bucket. People do some things to validate the transaction. You get a reward because you added funds into a bucket and they were able to do the things they needed to do to make that world go round.
Pretty cool. And how do we do that? Like, I use Wealthsimple right now for my crypto. I have a very small portfolio anyways, but where I can't do it in Wealthsimple. So where would I be able to do this?
Binance, crypto.com.
Okay. Okay. And those were centralized platforms.
You can, we can get into decentralized, but
maybe not for the beginners.
Next time.
Maybe not. Okay. And if you had $500 to invest in crypto, what tips would you give me? What would I look? Actually, we kind of answered this question already.
I would say though, if you haven't maxed out your RSPs, your TFSAs, your $500, in my opinion, if you're not so stuck on the principles of Web3 and blockchain technology and Bitcoin and decentralization, go right back to your registered accounts.
I like that advice.
Just go right back, get your tax benefits.
Yeah, so maximize your registered accounts before venturing off into other things. So I know you're not into NFTs as an investor at all, but could you explain to us what NFTs are, and maybe explain it to us like we're 5 years old, because I don't get it at all.
Okay, no problem. So let's think about the loonie for a second.
Okay. And for those who aren't in Canada, the loonie is like the dollar, $1.
The dollar, or your dollar bill, whatever your dollar bill looks like. Let's think about that. When you exchange $1 with $1 or 1 Canadian loonie with another loonie, those maintain the same value when you transfer it between individuals or between institutions, whatever you're doing. That is fungible. So Bitcoin, for instance, if we think about digital assets now, when I exchange to you a Bitcoin, you exchange to me a Bitcoin, there is no loss in value because it's a fungible asset. With NFTs, this stands for non-fungible token, meaning you have a cool Pokemon card that you got from your buddy down the road. Is that Pokemon card the same as Pokemon number 2 card? Right? I got Pokemon 1, you got Pokemon 2.
Yeah.
When we transfer it, these have different values. And non-fungible tokens, so NFTs, they're digital, so we don't have these physical cards anymore. So because they're digital on this like cool little blockchains, like this table, for instance, we can take a look at that because it's open for the world. And I can see that yours is number 1, mine is number 2. Mine has like a cool hair and cool sunglasses. Yours, that's not Pokemon whatsoever. Yours doesn't. Yours has different, yours maybe has pink hair, whatever the case may be. moral of the story is they're different. So they're unique assets that are non-fungible. So the value is not the same based on the blockchain on this table. That can, and their authenticity can be proven because the initial creation is allocated onto that blockchain and it can be seen by anybody.
Okay. So another question I had was that we see a lot of scams in the NFT space. Do you have any tips on how to avoid these scams so we don't go broke trying to invest in NFTs?
I think it's very similar to what we talked about with crypto projects. You really have to look into what the use case is, who's behind it, how strong is the community behind it, and any past history that the individuals involved have. I think previously when, or earlier on when crypto and kind of the NFTs really started taking off, a lot of people were anons. So again, anonymous. So you had no idea who was backing these things. And I actually, one project I even I did like a TikTok made me buy it situation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I saw it.
Okay. Yeah. That's actually how I got my job, by the way.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. Oh. They saw that video. I was like, oh, but so one of the guys was doxxed.
Oh.
Sorry, not doxxed. He was an anon.
Okay.
And I'm just going to give you a story about why it's important to know who is involved. The one guy was an anon. He was using a different name than, of course, what his actual name was. This project offered you this like crazy high APY, which immediately is a scam. And APY is kind of an estimate of the percentage you're going to make, like your appreciation, right? So anyway, so the one kind of leader of this was an anon. Everybody was in it, whatever the case may be. It was quite popular. And then he got doxxed, meaning somebody revealed his identity. And his name is Michael Patron.
Okay.
And Michael Patron is, I want to say, a co-founder or an early leader of Quadrica.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes. And so I covered this on my TikTok very early days.
Oh, yikes.
And Quadrica, if you don't know what it was a very early, go watch it on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
It was a very early cryptocurrency exchange based in Canada here. There was one guy who, I hate to do this, but passed away.
Okay.
Who was the founder, and Michael Patron running this thing. Yikes. And what happened was the guy that passed away, I guess, kind of went off overseas. And with crypto, you store money in these massive exchanges, store money in cold wallets. These are offline wallets not connected to the network, so they can keep your funds secure, especially when it's a centralized platform. The guy was the only guy that had the keys to this wallet. So go watch this. I don't want to. Yeah. I'm not really ruining it, but
it's a public story. It's a public story. But it's called Trust No One: The Hunt for the Crypto King on Netflix. Yeah. So Michael was the anon that was behind this project that you invested in.
Correct. There was another one who's very public.
Okay.
Daniel Sesta, I want to say his name, or Daniele Sesta. The project is called Time Wonderland. And guys, look, when you go look up Time Wonderland, don't X me. I wasn't investing in this thing. You can clearly see with these high APYs, these things are genuinely scams. They're not realistic payouts. What was the API that you were seeing? It was like, I want to say like 79,000%. 79,000. It was crazy. But imagine if it paid off, right? Oh, honestly, like there was like this Lambo calculator and everything. Guys, go. I don't want to show my account, but like if you want to see it early days, I might have even deleted it. Okay. But like, just go scroll down all the way, and I've covered it. Yeah. Okay. And I've showed the platform because it's just such a joke. Yeah. So things like that are clear red flags that you should stay away from when it comes to investing. 100%. And when it comes, and sorry, just to circle back to NFTs, when it comes to, the community and the use case and kind of what they're selling, you have to just be very careful, because it's not just a project that could be a scam. They could be scamming you with links. There's a lot of different ways they can kind of get you. So don't be like, if you are trying to get into crypto and NFTs, don't be clicking on things. Genuinely. Yeah. You can't just be like, click, click, click.
I heard even scanning, what are they called? QR codes. I heard people are like, I don't know how, but like getting your crypto from your wallet via...
QR code goes to a link.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
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 So you can't just go clicking. And the only thing I really do is I go to official major platforms, their Twitter accounts. Actually, I'll back up. One of the things I do to get the right links all the time is I go to CoinMarketCap or Messari, and I go search for the project I'm looking for. They have all the links there, the correct everything. These things are vetted. And I go click through CoinMarketCap.
Okay.
And they have their socials linked as well. Or I go to their official Twitter accounts and click their links from there.
And when you're clicking on these fake links, what would they take you? Like, what would happen?
Shoot, I don't know. These people are devs, like developers. True. They're smart.
True.
I haven't been scammed as yet because, again, I'm not like super degen crypto girl, like NFT girl. My stuff is on centralized exchanges. I do have some stuff in DeFi, but not a whole lot. I don't feel the need because, I don't know. I have a lot of other investments. I don't need to go that deep.
Well, switching lanes now, I want to talk about your career a little bit because as I said, you were making enough money that you were able to get out of that 40K debt pretty quickly and then build your 6-figure portfolio. And how old are you, by the way? I forgot to ask.
27.
So just at 27, 6-figure portfolio, and you built that a few years ago. So 20
years ago,
24,
25,
yeah. 6 figures at 24. Okay, so you used to work in the oil and gas industry, but now you work in the crypto industry.
Yes, I do.
So how did you get into it, and what does that look like? What is your role?
Right. So, like I mentioned it before, but this project, the TikTok made me do it, scam situation. I posted that and I kind of covered that journey and all like the tea that was coming out about it. And I wouldn't say my videos went viral necessarily, but they all had, a lot of them had over like 100K and whatever. And one of my managers actually now came across the videos on TikTok. I think guys, I had 100 followers, like I had like no followers.
Wow.
Maybe 1,000, because I think right before that I posted my portfolio and that also.
Those always do well.
Yeah, so I was like, shit. Anyway, so they saw the video and kind of reached out. At first I thought it was a scam. Because I'm like, crypto's a scam. Yeah. Like I was so uncertain, right? And so I didn't answer, and then they kind of contacted me from the verified account, and I was like, oh, this is not a scam at all. So. And
when they contacted you, what were they saying? We have this job, we want you to do it, or?
Yeah, it was basically like, we have this open role. We think you may be a good fit for it. Would you be interested in kind of going through the interview process?
Oh, wow.
Let us know.
It's nice to be headhunted, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I will say one thing is, I know your page is about investing and kind of personal finance, but if you want to do something, if you want to get online and start creating content, and I know you can attest to this because you do it full time, post that video.
Please do.
Please do. You hear it all the time on TikTok, whatever, and like these people get on your nerves. Genuinely post that video. I've been now working in crypto for 4 months, and yes, working in crypto is one thing, but now being a content creator in kind of the financial industry is also another thing. Yeah. Post the video.
Please do. And no matter what industry you're in, no matter anything you have to talk about, post it.
Post it.
Post it. You never know who's going to see it, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So what does your role look like in crypto?
Right. So basically, social media specialist is what my title is. And with socials, I feel like it's the modern, it's the modern way of marketing and media, right?
Yeah.
So we work on all things like campaigns, video strategy, partnerships, assisting with creative, telling the brand story, but also just creating content as well, especially in my role, because a lot of it is video based when it does come to content creation. So yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a new role for me because I came from kind of project management side, but yeah.
And I think a lot of people would like to know how you even transitioned. We know that you were headhunted, but how did you feel confident enough to move from oil and gas to this industry, not knowing much about it?
Right. So I know a lot of people probably feel this way too, but I was ready to go. I was ready to sprint. But some history behind that. My job was actually very stressful. Okay. So I worked at the new LNG plant out in Kitimat, BC. Okay. And I was in charge of all retail expansion at the industrial facility, and it's the largest industrial facility in Canada. I opened 3 retail outlets, a Starbucks, in which I also managed the construction project, while I opened a lounge. I never worked in a lounge a day in my life, and while managing a store and 20 people. Wow. So all in all, at the same time, I was doing all that and in charge of the finances and the budget, which was a little over 6 mil. I'm now 27. That went on for 2 years. And that was very stressful. So, yeah, I got it all done in May of 2021 is when we opened the Starbucks, which was super exciting. And after that, I went to Barbados in June. A lot of stuff happened. My dad ended up passing away in July. And after that, I said, I'm done. I'm done here. I've done what I needed to do here. I had great mentorship. Our vice president was my mentor. And I was done. So for a while, I was trying to figure out what I can do, and I've always wanted to start my own business, but because I could run a business, I knew confidently I can start and run a profitable business, and I always figured, why am I not doing that for myself? So all these thoughts were running in my head, and after my dad passed away, I was like, I'm doing it, and I still haven't done it, by the way, but I did start creating content, and everything changed from there within a month.
Wow, just a month.
Bless you. Wow. I created my first video the last week of December, started my job the last week of February. The interview process took a month.
Amazing. Congrats. Yay. And I know that you went to Dubai with them. Yeah. You've been traveling.
Yeah. That was first and only work trip so far. The company is great, but again, I think it's always just kind of nice to get ahead of industries. I kind of believe in the future of blockchain technology and Web3 and what it has to offer, and so it's nice to be in it full time. And yeah, I think as an investor and someone who talks about finance too much, it's just nice to be in it honestly full time. You learn a lot. You network a lot. And I think it's kind of nice from a unique perspective because I am also a content creator on my own time as well in the same industry, which presents different issues. But it's just a lot of networking, learning from, others within the space who've been in it for much longer than you have. And it's great.
If anyone wanted to get into the Web3 space and start working in it, are there any tips that you would give in order to maybe market yourself, or any transferable skills you learned from your old roles that are applicable there? Yeah,
for me specifically, especially now working in socials, one figuring out how to work TikTok. Yeah. Let's be real. TikTok is probably king of socials, or king and queen of socials right now.
For sure.
Just in terms of reach. Now they're doing ads. I mean, please, if you know how to work TikTok, and not just work TikTok, but if you know really how to be in charge of the viewer flow and the consumer journey within a one video, that is so valuable. If you can do research, if you have project management skills, for me, that's valuable. But another thing is to separate yourself. What are you bringing that somebody else obviously is not bringing? But also, what problems do you see on that team, in that business, on their accounts, if you are going for a social role, or, you know, whatever else that you can come in and solve, right? How are you obsessed with the problem? So
I like that. How are you obsessed with the problem? That's a good way to think about it. Well, thank you for telling us about your experience working in Web3. And then my last question for you is, if there's one piece of advice that you'd give our listeners so that they don't go broke trying to diversify their portfolio, specifically in crypto, what would that piece of advice be?
You need to do your research, genuinely. And I think you're probably going to feel bad about how long it's taking. Well, stop sulking, because it takes that long. Genuinely, it takes that long. So unless you want to get scammed, and unless you want your funds to continue to go down unnecessarily beyond just market direction, you need to sit there and do that research. Also, invest in things that you can relate to and that you're proud of. Right? When we talk about the stock market, I talk about Aritzia, right? I talk about, I don't know, I was in oil and gas, so I invest in oil because I can relate to it. I understand it. Find things you relate to. Because if you don't, you're not going to care about it. You're not going to want to learn more about it. You're not going to want to spend time researching it. And that's when trouble really starts to ensue.
So true. Every company I've invested in that I didn't care about, it's just been a mess. So,
honestly.
Don't do that. Do not. It just ends in tears, okay? Like, especially when I started investing in, like, weed companies, because I was like, oh, it's the next big thing. Blah, blah. But I didn't do any research. Like, that was, like, 5 years ago or something.
5 years ago? You've been investing for that long?
I've been investing since I was 18, so it's 7 years now.
Wow, kudos to you.
Thank you. But 8 years. I just turned 26 today, so 8 years.
It is your birthday. Holy, happy birthday. I forgot. Happy birthday.
Thank you. But 8 years now. So I invested in weed stocks, and they did not do well because I didn't research properly. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and teaching us all. Is there anywhere you would like us to find you? If you want to be found, where can we find you?
Yes, I want to be found. Your girl's a creator. Your girl's a content creator. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Taneesha.Greaves. Sorry, I had to think for a second. YouTube at Taneesha Greaves, and Twitter at Taneesha Greaves.
Perfect. And I will link all of those links in the show notes so it's easy for you to access. And remember, next episode is our Coinfessions episode. So Taneesha will be answering some of the questions that you submitted. So thank you so much, Taneesha, for being on the podcast again. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. This was my first podcast, guys.
Oh, really?
It was a blast.
Nice. I'm honored to be your first.
I'm honored to sit here.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.